using them in such instances to act as a mechanism in, say, a trend continuation move can be a little futile, since once a trend starts and once price starts moving up, honestly, a trader doesn't need anything else to tell him that he has to get in the move there. Price is doing that job. He only needs a backup or support to tell him when to avoid that move or when to wait for a possible chance of a reversal.
Sure. Agreed. No, I think the reason I mentioned it, like nothing to oppose as such, but the reason I mentioned is because when I, initially started trading and when I read these terms like overbought and oversold, it gives a wrong conception actually. So only when you have enough spent time, then
Definitely.
you understand it. Yeah.
Definitely. I think the even if you look at Nifty's charts on a higher time frame, I think it's weekly time frame. I don't remember exactly. RSI went oversold a lot of times from 2018, but then the move came in 2020. So just blindly shorting a market because some oscillator reading is going into oversold, or blindly buying into the markets when some because some oscillator is getting into oversold zone, that that's a common mistake that a lot of traders make, but we have to get out of it at some point.
So thanks for that. Just one question I have, right? So when I run my screeners, I check in multi-time frames and then I try to, screen out the stocks. So I think Gansham sir had posted about NDR Auto and like, I mean, couple other stocks like that. I mean, I also got it. I have one question. I think I'm not sure if some of you would have observed it. A lot of banking stocks are looking for a reversal. Like, looks like they've formed a bottom and then they're trying to go up. If you go basis the RSI level, any thoughts around it? And that implies that Bank Nifty is headed for a, I mean, for a bullish side. I mean, even though the index looks like sideways right now, but looking at the formations that are happening in the individual banking stocks, be it UCO Bank, Karnataka Bank, any other bank, Karur Vyasa, and all other. So, is there any observation around that as well? Like, just wanted to validate the same.
What kind of weightage does UCO Bank or Karur Vysya Bank have in Bank Nifty?
No, I understand that does not have a weightage much around in Bank Nifty, but looking as a sector together, right? If you look at that way, right?
See,
In that sense,
if you have to look at a sector collectively, and you want to look at individual stocks to understand if a sector is going to move up or down, that's a very good approach. Not a lot do it, but you always have to look at the heavyweights of the sector. You need to be more focused on the charts of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra, Axis, and SBIN, for example, rather than the charts of really obscure banks that do not have a weightage in the index. Be it any index, as you said, looking at the stock individual stock charts will give us better insight than looking at the sector charts, because it's not a stock market; it's a market of stocks, and those stocks make up that index. But the approach, just fine tune it a little bit, start focusing on the heavyweights, and your results would be much better.
got it. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
RK Capital, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you so much. The question I had is, I just wanted to understand, like, with the China US news which is coming in, how do you look at the impact of that on the sentiments of the market, with next week, with like the second spy balloon now spotted? Do you think it will have a significant impact?
Well, honestly speaking, I absolutely have no idea what kind of impact it will create. Sure, I can tell you a few pointers about geopolitics and geopolitical tension to sound very smart, but honestly, that's not going to have an impact on the markets, or in our ability to read the markets, because we are not geopolitical experts, and we need not focus on such aspects. It's rather better if we stick to the kind of analysis that we do and follow it better, and because that would always tend to give better results than tracking the news.
No, absolutely fair enough. The only reason, I started following it is because yesterday when I was tracking Dow Jones, suddenly, there was some weakness in the last 1 hour. So I just thought, that if it's really looking serious or something like that. So just wanted to gauge that.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? If you have questions, please raise your hand. We'll take some speaker requests. Or anyone wants to speak, please raise your hands. You can send a request to either me or Krish.
So while there's no other hand raised, can I make another point? I also wanted to discuss in terms of the price action which
Sure.
took place on Friday, right? So on Friday we saw Adani getting Adani recovering now, and Nifty again. I was looking at 17,750 as a good resistance, because it acted as a support while Nifty was above that, and then again on Friday we've broken that and closed above 17,800. So what do we think about that, right? Do we see this uh, breach as a ongoing thing, where we would see Nifty now going in the north direction, or what's the view on this forum?
Well, when I look at Nifty, Nifty is Nifty. Even though Nifty did a good job on Friday, the job was not as good as Bank Nifty. Sure, there is some buying coming in even in Nifty. As I said, in Bank Nifty, there is quite some serious buying that came in. Because the reason, let me give you some perspective. The opening was set up quite in context of the buyers on Friday. We opened positive, and I did spot one round of aggressive buying or initiative buying in the order flow, but that sort of fizzled out in the next 20 minutes. After the first 5 minutes, it fizzled out in 20 minutes, and then we were heading low from there. And after we came down by a good point of time, that's when buyers started striking again, and this time they showed a lot more intent than they did at open.
Correct.
So the lows that we made on Friday are very important. Now, sure, we do have some value distributed in between, but I'd rather like to go with lows at this point, because this is a seller initiation failed basically. That's the reason
Absolutely. Yeah.
they they started running for cover, those late sellers. So if at all I want to get into any kind of serious shorts on an overnight basis, then Friday's low would be my reference point that I would see. And the way we are the way we have closed and the way volumes are built, positions are built, taking out budget highs should not be that difficult. Sure, there will be some momentary sellers trying to absorb the buying and send the market down, but eventually seeing the amount of sheer buying that came in Bank Nifty, at least taking out budget highs should not be difficult. And once that is done, then we will see what the next line of action would be.
Perfect. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. That's what even I was thinking. Looked quite bullish, and I feel the momentum will continue, uh, unless say something else tries to disturb it.
I have added a few gentlemen: Dalpat, Vaishnav, Arjun, and Keshav. Please go ahead, any one of you.
Hey, hi. So my question was regarding, I'm heavy on IT stocks. So just want to know your perspective on how will be the current year for IT in general, depending on the current overall market situation. What is your take on that? Because I'm heavy on individual stock as well as a couple of funds. So just want to hear your perspective.
Honestly, I don't track stocks that much.
Cool.
If there's anyone else who Divyansh maybe or Keshav.
See, as far as the IT is concerned, I guess from last 1 month I have been investing in 100. I don't know about valuations, but one thing I'm very clear is that such kind of straight falls, like you may see in Tesla or Amazon or Zoom or Netflix or all these companies, that is something I expect ki when they rallied like crazy. And now when they're falling like crazy. So even the rally was something which is a bit unusual, and the stocks generally don't move like that. And when they're also falling like crazy. Like Netflix have crashed like almost 80% from its top. Tesla have almost halved, even less than that. So I guess uh, as compared to our Indian IT stocks, I believe the valuation of US companies are much better as compared to that. And I am personally investing in 100. That means like having an exposure towards Nasdaq 100. And that's my take for the IT stocks. Yes, IT stocks have crashed a lot. Indian IT is also good. US IT is also good. But obviously, relative, if we compare each other, then I guess US IT is relatively more undervalued, or I would say a fair value is there, and now we can one can see a steady growth in that. That's my take here.
Thanks, Keshav.
Also, I have one question for Killer Trader. You use order flow and all these things, data for your analysis. So, my I have two questions. One follow up question after you answer this question. So, why do you use this particular data? Like, believe that just price action is something that everybody is watching? So maybe this is something you gain an additional edge. So is it the reason like you use this thing?
Well, there are two parts. Even if I have to answer, there are two parts of answer to your question. It can take a couple of minutes. See, first thing, learning how to understand price is something every trader should know to trade successfully, because you watch volumes, you watch order flow, you watch the sun, you watch the moon, you watch your neighbor, ultimately you are trading price, right? So now, how to add value when you are reading price, or what actually drives the price movement, what influences price to behave in a certain way, is what I focus on. And that is what volume profile and order flow tells me. It is not something that is beyond price. It is something that complements price to such a large extent that if they are not in tandem, for example, if I see that my volume profile analysis and price are not in same line, I'd rather prefer to stay out. So to give a little more insight, I basically use volume profiles to understand the price and the volume structure of the market. That is, let's say price is closed at a certain point, opened at a certain point, and closed at a certain point. How are the volumes distributed? How were the volumes distributed the last time price was here? From here, does the market have an easy way to move up or an easy way to move down? And if it moves either ways, who are the guys who are going to be in a deep trouble there? Basically, is someone, will someone look cover their positions? So once I get a clarity on this using volume profile, then I watch order flow as a reaffirmation or confirmation to see if what I actually understood from volume profile is that actually happening in the markets there. And I use that as for my execution guidance as well. I hope that answers your question, Keshav. You had a follow up question? We are not able to hear you. I think Keshav is facing some connectivity issues. We have a few people. Fintwit.
Hey Abhi, what's up?
Hey, good, good. How are you, man? Long time, I think.
Good, good, good. Yeah, long time. What's up, bro? Just I think I missed on the good part of whatever you guys discussed. So, what's your call in the market right now, particularly from order flow point of view?
Well, as I was telling, Bank Nifty serious buyers have stepped in Bank Nifty compared to Nifty. Both are
Hmm.
strong, but Bank Nifty is looking mightier there, and I don't expect much difficulty from here. Of the budget highs being taken out. Once budget highs are taken out and the last of those late sellers are flushed out, then I'll do one more quick review of the markets. This by no way tells that Bank Nifty is heading towards a new all-time high again. I don't have such magical powers to tell that right now. To this is for others, anyone who thinks market may be heading for new high. But we do have a few old sellers still present in the game who have sold at the highs, but not how do I say it, the urgent selling that we saw on budget day. So we'll need to see how market behaves when we test those sellers areas. To the downside again, on an overnight basis, I will not be absolutely short in this markets. Directionally short, to be precise, until the Friday lows are cleaned out. But we did see some decent buying, good buying coming in Banknifty in second half. That is something totally, how do I
Yeah,
say it? It was like a surprise entry of buyers over there, because we did have one round of initiative buying at open, right? Then sellers took control. The initiative buying failed, and the selling initiative failed there. So everyone did
so
their
did you
best.
see last 15 minutes action on Nifty?
Nifty, I did not. Bank Nifty, I did.
Okay. So I kind of followed last 15 minutes PA, and then I went pretty large short positioning, like around 36-40 lots short on
Hmm.
Nifty in last 15 minutes. So pretty much sitting on a decent M2M so far.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm pretty much bearish in the market, like perma bearish. So I've been making a lot of money whenever the market falls. So
Hmm.
just curious, like what's your call, like because I'm expecting lower targets. And yes, there was good buying in the second half, particularly once 17,000 or seven change level was taken out.
Hmm.
But I think still the large amount of sellers are still present somewhere close to
Yeah,
18,150. I mean, if you look from a
definitely.
futures point of view.
Definitely, yes. I mean, those sellers who actually started selling, who opened up the selling, right? Those guys are still
Mhm.
present in the system, a good amount of them. Only those late sellers are the ones that got screwed 6 weeks to Sunday on Friday. And once when we test those sellers areas, their average sell position zone, that is when we can get a little more insight to see if those sellers are able to defend and rotate markets back to a lower move, or if buyers are going to just kill them and take prices up. But yeah, and on that note, one more pointer from my end, just telling you, uh, ignore order flow action in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, after 3 p.m., do not watch order flow unless it's at a. I'm not sure if you follow market profile or volume profile, unless it's at a higher time frame reference. So in
Hmm.
volume profile, let's say at an extreme or an excess of a weekly or a monthly value area, then don't watch order flow for on the last 15 minutes. It's
Okay.
basically
Great. Great.
business that day, closing up shop and traders opening positions for next day.
But you're partially targeting, like if you really have to go short, you're looking at Friday's low for overnight
Friday's
shorts,
low.
right?
Yep. Friday's low needs to be cleaned out.
Okay. I think Devyansh as well went short overnight, if I'm not mistaken. Probably he is raising his hand, so he's going to take it on forward. Thanks, Abhi.
No worries, no worries.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I just wanted to continue on that because you're right. I'm short, and I sold 18,000 calls just at the timestamp which you said, near about after 3 p.m. And the reason for doing it was that we have a supply area from 17,960 to 18,000 on Nifty, and a few futures I'm talking about. And that's what made me, sell those options. And obviously, it's a spread. So my spread is 18,000 call short, 18,150 long, and it's a 1:1. It's a credit spread, nothing else. So the idea is that if you look at the options chart specifically, as long as 60 to 65, like that price band on the option 18,000 call is defended, I will continue to hold my position. But as soon as that area is taken out, I'm out. Okay, so that's the idea, and I'm not actually looking for taking this option to zero immediately because we have I think 4 days to expiry. So yeah, if we open near 17,800 of that area, if option comes near 30-35, I'll cut that position. So that's the idea behind taking shorts.
Definitely. See, option writing, taking a short position in option, uh, uh, I have a friend who constantly debates with me. I tell that taking a short position in an option from a weekly expiry perspective is different than a directional bet. Even if you are making a directional spread like a credit spread, for example, call credit or a put credit spread, because you are essentially looking for a trade where the underlying doesn't go above a particular price by a particular point of time. So this kind of trades, sure, at any point of time, even when if market goes 3 days non-stop to the upside, even I look to sell calls on expiry or 1 day before expiry. But I when I say directional trades, I talk about futures, because that is where traders actually get screwed if they try to go against what the majority volumes are doing there. Sai Baba?
Yeah, hi bro. Actually, I was quite opposite to your directional view to the upside, because I can see huge amount of volume coming in State Bank of India, but not the same amount in the Axis and the ICICI and the Kotak as well. If you look at Axis, ICICI and Kotak, if you compare to Thursday, the volume price may be going up, but the volume, if you compare with the Thursday, it's not that huge. I feel particularly okay. I am but biased as well, because I had positions against to it. It doesn't mean that favors right. Again, one more thing is, right now we are facing a trust kind of thing from the FIS, right? That doesn't affect us. Do you think so that it doesn't affect us, our Indian markets, in this short time, because uncertainty can't be held right?
See, there is always uncertainty in the markets. Every moment is uncertain in the markets. I mean, हर महीना कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है यहाँ पे. So the bottom line is that I rather my way of looking at the markets is to try and walk right beside the markets. If markets are taking a step to the forward, I look to take a step to the forward. If they are taking a step to the backward, I also take a step to the backward. I do my best. I don't nail it 100% all the time, but I try to do my best. So from that perspective, if I look at it, that's the reason, because quite some substantial buying had come in, is why I'm bullish for Monday. If we open with a move down and start going down, then I would have no other option than to flip.
Yeah.
Flip
That's
buyers.
the best way of trading. But just I thought of sharing my view, because I can't
KT?
see any volumes developing in huge levels. I feel, because if you look at whole January month, we are at almost 44,000 probably, or 43,500 from the Jan starting, right? We dropped down to 39,500 literally. There are many shorts in the systems, right? After completion of the budget, there may be a short covering, right? See, even
It's already done, Sai. It's already done.
I'm sorry.
We are approaching towards the resistance levels again.
Okay.
Short covering, it's already
I'm
done.
sorry.
We have seen already
Leave it.
2000 points short covering.
Okay.
And one more thing, as you are saying, uncertainty. If there is no uncertainty in the market, we don't get the opportunity. If the more uncertainty is there, more the risk will be there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There is a measurement for the uncertainty. It's nothing. It's VIX.
Yep. That's true. But just that.
So we have to
Krish,
move. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll probably question
No.
after
You
this.
just yeah. You can ask.
Okay, are you the only perma bull bear in this entire space along with me? Because I see your
No,
tweets,
I'm
which
not.
are mostly
I'm not the permanent bull. I'm not the permanent bear.
No.
If the trading position changes within seconds, I was the first person. I'll just run away from that.
okay. Because the spaces, I think majority of them are perma bull kind of folks.
No.
So
No.
your
I'll
tweets,
tell
I thought maybe
one thing. I want to tell you. If you are a permanent,
perfect, super.
exactly.
I think one
And
Thanks,
should be
bro.
a
Thanks.
chameleon. I think one
sorry.
should be a chameleon. We should change colors as per. We should, just like chameleon changes color, we should also change our view as per what the market is showing.
Yes.
Exactly. See, market will obviously change its colors minute by minute, second by second, day by day, week by week, month by month. We always have to ready to face all those scenarios.
No, I
As
mean,
with
like, one thing I'll add. Like, if you're an investor, you have to be a perma bull, right? Or how else will you hold your positions? You have to have that optimism. But if you're a trader, I mean, those things do not make sense. Just follow where smart money is going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hi Katie, hi Krish.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Sumit.
So
How are you?
fine, absolutely fine. Delhi.
I think we
Yeah,
met in Delhi meetup, right?
yeah, absolutely fine.
Yeah, tell me. You were asking something.
Just I'm saying is कि it's too much analysis is going to paralysis. What I have learned it from you
I
people
said this.
only because
I said this in many spaces, many times.
yes, that's the
If
thing
you
I
are
have learned from you only
okay,
because if I watch if we watch only Friday price section,
Hmm.
there is nowhere nowhere price suggested to short us. If we go in detail, if I go in detail of volumes, if I go in detail of long and short, or if I go detail in market breadth, then then it will confuse you कि वहां पे breadth और market breadth देखूंगा तो निफ्टी अंदर 250 500 500 स्ट्रोक इन ग्रीन एंड 700 स्ट्रोक इन रेड तो वो कंफ्यूज करेगा बट राइट नाउ कहीं कोई सिग्नल नहीं है चार्ट पे शॉर्ट करने का इन
शॉर्ट
इन इन
करने
इन
का
माय
शॉर्ट करने का
अभी नहीं
सिग्नल
दिख रहा है
नहीं। नहीं, शॉर्ट करने का सिग्नल नहीं, लॉन्ग लेने का भी सिग्नल नहीं। मार्केट एक दिन में है ना, बजट दिन का एक बड़ा कैंडल बन
राइट
गया था। उस दिन में
राइट
रेंज कितना था एक बार देख लो।
हाँ
कितना
देखिए
रेंज
अभी इनसाइड कैंडल बन रहा है ना इनसाइड कैंडल बन रहा है तो इनसाइड में ही
इनसाइड
उसी के
कैंडल
अंदर
या
है यानी
आउटसाइड कैंडल है, ये सब बाकी बात छोड़ दो, मैं सिंपली चीज आपको समझ पाता हूँ। लेकिन उस दिन है ना कैंडल 42,000 अपसाइड and
बिल्कुल
39,500 on the downside, 2,500 points
राइट
range,
राइट
which is around how much in Bank Nifty? 5% or 6%?
40 पे 200
So
5%
इतना
यानी 5 6
इतना
6%.
बड़ा कंफ्यूजन आ गया ना मार्केट में। अगर ऊपर जाएगा तो सेलर्स देख सकते हैं बेचने के लिए, नीचे जाएगा तो बायर्स देख सकते हैं बाई करने के लिए। रेजिस्टेंस
राइट
पहुंच रहा है या सपोर्ट के पास पहुंच रहा है। अब ये सब मत देखो, थोड़ा सा शांति पे रेस्ट ले लो, एक हफ्ते कम से कम। फिर मार्केट में सब सेटल हो जाएगा, बाद में आके आराम से ट्रेडिंग कर लो। मैं यही कह रहा हूँ। अगला पहला वीक कितना वॉलेटाइल बन गया मार्केट में। अभी आने वाला वीक में उतना ही वॉलेटिलिटी रहता है। ये कूल ऑफ इतना से नहीं से हो पाएगा, लेकिन विक्स को देख के हम सब सोचता है कि विक्स नीचे आएगा, मार्केट सेटल डाउन हो जाएगा, सब होता है। ऐसा नहीं होता है भाई। विक्स एक बार कूल ऑफ हुआ था और दूसरे हफ्ते में क्या होता है कि ऊपर जाएगा, किसको पता है।
वो तो सेम डे हुआ था बजट वाले दिन, मॉर्निंग में नीचे था बाद में ऊपर हो गया था, बजट वाले दिन सेम डे हुआ था,
सेम दिन में भी हो गया।
फर्स्ट हाफ में नीचे था।
मार्केट का अभी एक बेस बॉटम बन गया, ठीक है। वो बेस को कम से कम 1 या 2 बार टेस्ट नहीं करेगा तो वो सस्टेनेबल कैसे हो सकता है ऊपर जाने के लिए। शॉर्ट्स तो कवर हो सकता है। शॉर्ट्स तो कवर हो सकता है। अभी चार्ट देख रहा है ना, ये 2 कैंडल दिखा के सबको पता चल जाता है शॉर्ट कवरिंग हो गया 2 दिन के लिए। अभी फिर से इधर से भी बहुत ज्यादा शॉर्ट कवरिंग एक्सपेक्ट मत कर लो, लेकिन जाएगा तो जाएगा और एक 500 पॉइंट या 700 पॉइंट ऊपर जाएगा। अभी 1% या 2% है, उससे भी कम है। वो देख के और एक बार शॉर्ट कवरिंग मत कर दो, लेकिन वो सप्लाई जोन्स पे जा रहे हैं, उधर नीचे नहीं आएगा, किसको पता है, उधर ही टाइम वेस्ट करेगा तो। हम ऐसा सारा नहीं सोचते हैं, प्रॉब्लम यही है। लोग को है ना, बुल है तो एकदम सीधा से ऊपर जाना चाहिए, बेयर है तो सीधा एकदम नीचे आना चाहिए।
Krish, it is either 20,000 or 12,000. There are no numbers in between. Okay, that is the law of the land here.
मैं एक चीज बताऊंगा उत्कर्ष, अगर तुम ये बात करेगा तो मैं जुपिटर को पहुंच जाऊंगा।
It's either 12,000 or 20,000. There is no middle ground here. I mean,
I can openly
ट्रेडर बोलता है कि मैं ऑप्शन में ट्रेड करता हूँ, नहीं तो वीकली एक्सपायरी में ट्रेड करता हूँ, और भाई साहब ये भी बोलता है कि निफ्टी यहाँ से 20,000 जाने वाला है। I mean,
जाने वाला है, कब जाने वाला है,
both go hand in hand is my biggest mystery that I'm not able to solve here. But
I just want to tell you something here, Katie. We are all seeing from last 1.5 year market is not given anything, right? 18,600 it made in September 2021, right? Today we are in 2023. It's been almost 16 months of time. Maybe it might happen, it might not happen. What you will do if it stays within that same range for next 1.5 years?
KT?
But Krish,
Yes, please go
we
ahead.
are
Sorry? Sumit,
like
you are saying something.
we are. I'm just saying is we are weekly option sellers,
Hmm.
and we change as per
No,
Keshav is saying. No? We change our stance in a week only. If you see price is
yeah,
trending,
Sumit bhai, we don't need to wait for a week also. As a weekly option seller, we have to
yeah, yeah,
run the position till the end of the day, or we have to cover the position on the next day morning.
absolutely, absolutely,
We don't
absolutely.
have time more than 24 hours. I am not saying about the weekly options. I am talking about those perma bulls and perma bears.
No, no, we are to change na. We will
So
change na according to the weekly only.
that is one thing, Sumit bhai. As I have explained in a delimiter, uh, what you will do if a market stays within a range for a couple of years or maybe more than that. In 2000,
Hmm.
I think 2010 to 2013 end, market stays within
Right.
a range for 4 years almost,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes,
The
yes.
same kind of phase is running right now. People are not looking to all those things. All over the places, volatility, some
Hmm.
global issues, crisis, this thing happened, that thing happened. Market is just staying within that range only. It's not going anywhere. What is the meaning of it? There is an uncertainty. Obviously, market is there. If the uncertainty was not there, opportunity was cost was not there. And at the same time, as an investor, you need to understand this thing. Uh, why FIs are selling in our market? It's simple. There is a quantitative easing concept. We all of us know, right?
Right.
That quantitative easing, when that thing happen, FIs don't have an option. They have to pull out the money from our market. They will invest in US market until the bond prices gets down. Right now, they are getting 3.5% or around 3.7% kind of return in US government securities. And what is the actual return if everything settled down in US market? Not even 2%. So if they're getting double the return, why should they wait here?
Right.
People have forgotten all these things. That's why they're selling. You can't complain them
Hmm.
because it's simple thing. Once the quantitative easing is done, they will come back to India again.
Hmm.
So until that, we have to wait. There is no way. परमा बेल्स 25 भी नहीं आएगा 10 भी नहीं आएगा लेकिन एक बार अचानक से आएगा तो आप कहो मैंने बोला था
See, that's true, Krish. What you said. What if the range continues for the next 2 years? There is a good possibility it can become, because market has got traders hooked on to the volatility. Volatility भी एक चीज का एक टाइप का नशा है, to be honest. And because market got those traders hooked on to the volatility, especially last October and March was very difficult for a lot of traders.
last year March
Yes, no, sorry, last October and November.
2022 right
2022 October and November.
yeah. That is the worst kind of is it's premiums are not equivalent to the VIX at least. And one more thing, I have this question to Katie, you, and Keshav, Divyansh, or whomsoever the experts here. I just ask you this thing. Katie, you already listened from me. What you will do if the interest rate of the economy, it might go down below 3%, one fine day, maybe not today, maybe after 6 7 years. At that time, Bank Nifty can trade at 70,000. Option premium will be at 400. What you are going to do? I'm talking about the ATM straddles.
We discussed this the other day, right? The same
That's right.
thing. Yeah, I'll keep quiet then. Let us.
So as people were saying, I'm an option seller, I'm a professional option seller, right? If there is a
And that time you will
regime,
become buyer, na? Then there is no issue, na?
no.
If
Sumit
we,
bhai, the problem here is the winning ratio in buying. You also know it's very very less. And one more thing, finding the direction in the market, which is very difficult. You can't even imagine how can it move. It will just move in just a matter of 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It make a move of 500 points upside and 500 points downside. You don't even know where to find out the trade, even if you are using the indicators, right? This is the time which actually you have to uh, grow your wealth. The market is in a good phase where you are getting the better premiums, and in some stages maybe once or twice in a year, you need to skip the trading. Like last week, we skipped. And in October, it happened. And last time, March also, it happened. Sometimes these kind of issues are obviously there in market. If you don't know what is going to be happening, just stay away from the market for at least 1 week or 10 days. Try to protect your capital. Even if you made 20-30% on an annual basis, this is fine. And just maintain that thing for at least the next 5 to 7 years. Till then, grow in option selling. Once that regime has been ended, then you need to go for an option called investment. Don't think option trading I can do for a prolonged period, lifelong period.
Or maybe just switch to directional trading.
Sir, I
अरे
also
ट्रेडिंग
have
को
some
ट्रेडिंग
points.
को नहीं छोड़ता है क्या दिव्यांश?
मैं नहीं छोड़ सकता, मैं आखिरी दिन तक ट्रेड करूंगा अपने, जब तक जिंदा हूं।
तो टाइगर जिंदा है। ठीक है, हम कुछ सवाल लेंगे। अरे यार, मैं
Sir,
सवाल पूछ रहा है या जवाब दे रहा है किसी को?
Sir, I want to
Guys,
add some points.
disclaimer,
Sir.
we'll close
Yeah,
the
Siddharth.
spaces by 12:15.
Okay, 2:15.
1:15, Malla 12:15, 2:15 Krish. Last spaces went till 2:15. That's why I'm telling.
So one thing I want to tell you, Katie, if anybody who is going to make a nonsense in this space, never ever allow them to make to the speaking. That's my suggestion to you. Keep it as that. Or else, if you don't want to participate in that, just keep quiet. We will handle. Siddharth?
Yes.
Sir, I wanted to add something on the sideways market that we were talking about, right? Whether people are either bullish or bearish, right? If you see, even some of the most experienced traders, tomorrow if Banknifty falls by 1,000 points, no, people will start shouting the market is bearish. Whereas on the charts, it is only sideways. For bearish market to happen, weekly bearish signs should be there, price should sustain, then only we can call it either bearish or bullish. That's the technical definition to go by. But like what happened to Adani saga and what happened in the budget when people were like 41,500 is broken and we are bearish, it doesn't happen like that. Like market doesn't turn from bullish to bearish in one day.
Adani, different people have a different perception. You have your own perception. I have my own perception. In my perception, it's a bullshit. Simply, I can say. As an investor, it's a bullshit. For a trader, it's a double bullshit.
Correct.
We all know what the thing is happening in the company and what's going on. We all are seeing from last 3 to 4 years, right?
Correct.
So instead of knowing all these things, why should we have to touch those nonsense things? We have our Banknifty, we have our Nifty to trade.
Sure. Sir, also I wanted to add around option selling. This is my experience and I want to hear from your mouth as well. Earlier when anybody who is new, right, they think like they will earn from theta decay, right?
Okay, yes.
That's a free premium that we will get it, right? But what I felt in my experience is the earning from theta decay is something like waiting for a disaster to happen, right? I mean, theta can act as your defense when your moves are wrong. But I think, how do you think, like, is your experience key? Can you earn from theta decay for a longer period of time? Is my question.
Let me tell you a simple thing here in Siddharth. You always need to maintain a directional and non-directional kind of system. Both are you have to do. If you know when to trade, which setup to trade, then you will become a successful trader. If you don't know when to trade, what to trade, what not to trade, if you don't know all these scenarios, then obviously whether it's option selling or option buying, you will get stuck.
Okay.
So you need to know the trend. That is the primary trend. Primary trend means people go and look at the monthly charts or weekly charts. I'm not talking about it. As a weekly option seller, we hardly have 1 week of time. So what are the possible scenarios which is going to be happen? Or if you are an intraday trader, you hardly have 6 hours of trading time in your hand.
Correct.
So what kind of things which you are going to do and how much risk you are ready to take. Calculate based on that how much risk you are taking for that day, but for that particular day. If it is expiry, risk management will be different. If it is a Friday, risk management will be different again. It depends on the person and depends on the kind of expectation he have and depends on the how much risk he is able to take and how he can manage that risk if something wrong happened in the market.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Sir, one more thing. I mean, just one question I have about gold, right? I mean, it is in the light because if you see on the charts, it has formed a shooting star on the daily and looks like on the weekly also I think the big move that looks like a halt. Any thoughts around that? It's a big fall and looks like a, I mean, can
Yeah,
reverse from here.
it's in weekly chart also it's showing some kind of a reversal, but
Mhm.
I don't think so. It's going to be come down as well. It's not going to be move like Bitcoin or something.
Yeah,
I might think it might stay within this range again. That 1700 on the downside, 2000 on the upside. This might mostly it will be the range. And one more thing, after the humongous rally in 20 from 2015 to okay, I'm seeing a gold chart in US, not in Indian chart.
mhm.
Sorry,
I think it started from 52,000 MCX.
MCX.
Yeah.
I think it was started from $1,200 in 2019, right?
Okay.
2019, Jan price was $1,200, and right now which was trading around $1,900. This was
Okay.
the US chart, but the Indian chart is completely different because of the gold depreciation, rupee depreciation.
Yes. Yes.
So if you take the Indian chart, it can be simply it's 80 to 100% return. People forget this concept. Obviously, gold prices increase. By gold prices is not increasing from 2011 to till date. Gold price where it was in 2011 and 10, still it was there only. The thing here is our currency is depreciating because of this all the global issues and quantitative easing. Everything is happening all over the globe. Because of that, gold it looks like a going up in our country, and the issue here is we are the best and worst importers of this world. Like we know, right, how we use the gold.
Correct.
So these are all the things we have to keep in mind. The problem over here is people will say gold can go to, I think, 80,000 or 90,000. It might happen only when the scenario comes. If something is wrong tomorrow morning, if we get the third world war is going to start, then people might start buying the gold or any precious metals.
Got it.
Yeah, Divyansh, you want to mention something?
Yeah, the gold thing which you mentioned is absolutely correct. I just wanted to add on the theta wala question. So
Mhm.
the thing is that like my question is to Siddharth. What you said is absolutely correct. So to Siddharth, like what I feel is that there's no such thing like you can't base your trades based on theta, right? Because what
Correct.
happens is that at the end, Vega realization is something that will eat away your profits, right? Because of see, at the end, if you want to make money, there are only two things: either be good at direction or be good at understanding volatility. There's no third thing, right? So I think a good you can do if you're good at any one of this, you'll make money. But the thing is, how I look at it, I don't look at it, in terms of theta. I'm looking at like what is the volatility and direction. That's it. Like Vega is what you need to focus on. So don't
Mhm.
focus on theta because theta is something which you'll realize on, maybe Wednesday towards the end. Or chalo, I'll ask you a simple question. Suppose you're trading an expiry, right? Most of
Mhm.
the issues are created if you hold your, suppose if you're trading near ATM and you're holding your position throughout the day, that creates a big issue. So what happens on expiry days, how I look at it is, suppose if I'm trading an option, say it's at 40 rupees and I sold it. If it has come down to say 10 or 12 and 10 or 12 rupees and it's say around 12 p.m., right? So I'm not
Mhm.
going to hold that option,
Correct.
because there are 3.5 hours left before it expires, right?
Correct.
It might have gone OTM, but it will for sure spike, right? So I have to cut
Mhm.
my positions there and maybe, come after 2:30 or 2:45 at that timestamp. So knowing when to use it is what will create alpha. Theta alone won't do anything.
Got it. Got it. Sir, one last question. Thanks for answering that. I think that very much clears. Sir, I mean, we always talk about having an edge in the system, correct? And price action, like price action is same for all the traders. Like if there are experienced traders and there is a certain price action getting formed, right? Around support, resistance, whatever zones are there, everybody looks at it in the same way. So, do you really think that 5 years from here, right, price action still have the edge, or I mean, how do you think about it?
I think that, I mean, it depends on the way you look at it. For me, price action is how, any, I'd call it smart money, that is better. How someone who is having a really big position is handling it. That's the way how I look at it. I look at value areas, where people are distributing options. See, why we trade options? There should be a reason behind it. I trade options because I know for a fact that nobody can park their money in it. It has an expiration date, it has to go, right? So you
Mhm.
cannot park your money. So there has to be some distribution going on in options or some accumulation for that matter. So I
Mhm.
look at it from that angle, right? And price action is something, I mean, I'll give you a very trivial example. You know a very famous pattern, head and shoulder, right? So
Correct.
many people will trade it when it breaks down. Many people will trade it when the third shoulder is being formed, right? So it depends on how you take your entries, how you actually look at it.
Got it. So I'll ask one more specific question, like around price action. I think it will be rather more clear. If you remember, LNT had a breakout. I think 4 or 5 days back, right, when it moved almost up to 2300 levels. Correct. I
Yeah.
mean, if somebody was following, if even SDFC had it, like it broke out of the range and it moved to some
Right, right,
1690
right.
levels, right? Just give an
Right.
example. So any price action trader would think this is a breakout and he will go long at that position, right? So as and when more traders would come and they understand the concepts, right, the
Hmm.
edge of that you start losing that edge essentially.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No,
I'll
it
tell you
doesn't
why.
work that
I'll
way.
tell you
As long
Okay.
as what you are looking at has a certain strong logic backed behind that, its edge will not go. And the true edge that you get is from your own ability to look at that particular way of analysis. If you ask me, for example, if anyone will tell that order flow, adding order flow to your trading will give you a massive edge, I will say that it will give you a small edge. But to make it a massive edge depends on how often you use it or how long you use it. You can get footprint charts for 1500 rupees per month. 4 years back it was for 50,000 rupees a subscription that you can get for 1500 2000 a month. But can everyone use it the same way? No. It's more of a, the edge is created by more by the trader but not by the actual technical tool itself. That only pushes a trader in sharpening their edge, but the actual legwork should be done by the trader, and in the trader's mind the actual edge exists. For example, uh, it it should come from a point where you have been using something for so long that you can exploit it to the maximum capacity or availability. It's not just about the software or the technical tools, but your ability to exploit it there. Like for example, even if you give me the, you know, world's best programming software to code an algorithmic strategy, I will not be able to do absolutely nothing out of it because I don't know anything about it. So
Mhm.
it also that's where the true edge comes in, but not in the system.
Very valid point, sir. I think what you essentially trying to mention is the more experience you get in one strategy, I think that's your only edge, right? I think makes
True,
sense.
and the most important point, the most critical point, this doesn't mean, I'm not by any way saying that you can close your eyes and draw three lines on the chart and expect it to work in the long run. No, the techniques that you use matter, but they only matter to a certain extent. They just show you the direction. You should be the one to master that. So the starting point of using a reliable set of methods that are backed by sound logic will always hold ground.
Got it. So one follow-up question. I'm sure. I hope I'm not extending it too much, but one follow-up question, right? Uh, uh, like being this algos also. Okay, so like the algos that are coming in. Okay, I think that answers the question about the algos as well, because I think only from your experience you will try to exploit it, and I think algos won't be a threat to it, even if there are multiple algos running on the same strategy, like 920. Very common, people do it, right?
So
See,
that
strategies like
920 is fine.
920 become are more like a self-fulfilling prophecy there. It was when a lot of traders start trading there, and
Mhm.
because if everyone is using the same logic, putting the stops at same places, this is what I was initially talking about, Krish. That you told me that most of the softwares don't put a hard stop loss in the broker's end, but will only send a stop order signal to the broker when a certain condition is fulfilled.
Exactly.
That is where the trouble comes from, because if any trader, I would say you need to have sufficient checks and balances there in place, because the way basically stop orders work is that you put a stop loss order at broker's end when you first take a position. Broker sends it to NSE, exchange, and exchange will put it in the line and mask it. Now when that is not actually done, in moments of sudden bursts of high volatility, everyone has to scramble. Your algo would be placing, sending a signal to the broker, and broker would send it to NSE, and it's not just you, but thousands of traders do it at the same point of time. That is where slippages majorly occur.
And the thing is, in algo trading, people don't look into all these background things. Let's assume we are trading with our own Python code. First, code should itself have to compile the program. Then it will send the signal to the REST API. REST API will be will give the signal to the broker. Broker will send that order to the exchange. It will be queue over there, and then it will execute. After that, it will get the response to the broker. Then it will come to the REST API. Then it will come to your coding. Even if you use the third party software also, this is the same process. It will take, sometimes it might be 2 seconds delay, sometimes it might be 3 seconds delay. If something wrong happened, like a budget case, you don't know where your order is going to execute. So these kind of issues were there. People simply think algo it's going to give you something, or algo it's going to give you that kind of return. It's not the algo which is giving. Algo is just an execution tool. The strategy which is you creating, the entry and exit, the risk reward ratio according to your acceptance ratio, all those things will play a crucial role. Algo just is a machine which placing the orders on behalf of you.
Got it.
See, does a cricket bat hit sixers, or does a batsman do?
I get your point, sir. I mean, there is no marks for algorithm. There is marks for the strategy and the execution, which is in the trader's mind. I'm absolutely agreed on that.
Machine created by human brain only, right?
Yeah. Correct.
What we are unable to do at 10 works at one time. So we are creating a simple machine to execute all those things.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is the only thing. Algo is just an execution tool. Don't think algo can make money. Algo can do like this, like that. It's not possible, because nowadays people are calling about the artificial intelligence algos. Forget about the artificial intelligence algos. People don't even know how to access the basic algos.
Correct.
And one more thing I want to clear you here, as you asked the price action related thing, right? I can ask you a simple question. What is the success ratio of technical analysis? Does anyone know?
I think it's decent. I mean, definitely. I mean, if you have a decent, it depends on the risk reward. Like, I mean, as such, technical indicators do not have any success ratio. It's purely risk reward.
It's not about the technical indicator. I am talking about the overall technical analysis. So what is the success ratio of technical analysis? That's what I'm asking.
Like, not sure. I can't quantify it, but definitely more than 50%, obviously, because then only it makes sense.
Not even more than 40%. You just go through investing.com, search for a debugging mix about the technical analysis. You will find an article. Just read it over there, which is not even 40% of success ratio.
So that also means that the edge lies in maintaining risk reward, right?
It's not about the success ratio. It's not about the accuracy. It's all about the risk management and position sizing.
Got it.
Last question, Surya. Will take Surya's question. And then
yeah, hi sir. So since you have spoke about algo, I just wanted to know, whenever we place a stop loss, does it go directly to the NSE exchange, or like only when the value comes in, the algo provider sends the signal to the exchange?
See, there are two type of algos who are there in the system right now. The one kind of algorithmic systems who are there, they are placing the stop loss at the broker end, not at the exchange. Exchange, it's not, as you are placing a stop loss order, it will be placed at the broker's end only. There is no any system in this world which is going to place your order at the NSE exchange. NSE is only for a execution purpose.
Okay.
So once you have placed a certain price point, whereas your stop loss or a target, it might go in a queue when the price triggers at the broker's end.
Okay.
Then only broker will shoot that order to the exchange.
Understood.
If that order got executed, then you will get the return response from the NSE. Your order got filled.
Understood. So algo is all about just like instead of us placing it, it's a machine doing that. So nothing
Exactly.
kind of a fantasy thing here.
Exactly. And one more thing I want to tell you, there are different type of algos. Some algos, they don't place SL at least at a broker end. We are already having issues with a broker. These nonsense algos, I mean to say, I don't want to name them, but some people, they are saying simply algo is going to give you that, algo is going to place a SL here. Actually, they don't place the SL in the broker's end also. But the thing here is, when your trigger price comes, they simply shoot the market order.
Okay, but that's highly risky, right? During this.
Highly risky. That's what I'm saying. When you
Mhm.
are finding any kind of algo system, you always have to check this thing. If the
Okay.
order is placed at the broker end or not, forget about that thing. Whether they will place or not at the
Okay.
exchange, at least they have to place their algo stop loss order at the broker end. Then only maybe we might get a slippage. At least we will get some bit of relaxation from those slippages.
Correct. So
If we don't,
I'm just using quantum right now. So just wanted to know, do they place it at the broker's end or just keep it till the trigger price comes?
Quantman, Quantum.
Yeah, Quantman.
Quantman option is there, right? You can place it. Whatever the algos which I placed in the marketplace and my algos also, they
Okay.
will place the broker end. They will place at the
Broker end,
broker
right?
end. Yeah,
Okay.
broker end. If one thing I can tell you, Surya sir,
Mm-hmm.
if algo don't place the SL and at the broker end,
Mm-hmm.
then I call it as that algo is a trash.
Exactly, because we are already seeing the huge spikes in the market in the last few months.
Exactly. And one more thing, what I will do, there is a slippage when there is a spike. Obviously, we might get execution or we might not get execution of our stop loss orders, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So for those kind of things, you always need to place this SL at least a 5 seconds buffer. If your SL got skipped within next 5 seconds, if the price didn't came, then automatically the algo can shoot the market order to the exchange. So obviously slippage is there. We have to accept there is no way. Not only me, most of the people will do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Killer.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it. I see two people who have raised their hands. No more questions, guys, after Syed, Kamran, and another gentleman is
Yes,
done.
yes. I just have a quick question for the brother Krish. Krish, do
Yeah.
Indians have access to the Nasdaq market?
For trading or investing?
Investing, trading as well.
Yeah, with interactive brokers, both things are possible. But the thing here is there is no participation mostly in futures and options. People are investing in Nasdaq through ETFs.
So they don't day trade on the Nasdaq, day-to-day trading.
They don't trade from India. If somebody wants to trade in USA, they will open a separate account, maybe on their family member's name. They
Okay,
can trade from there. That
okay.
is the
Who are
only
li-
way most of the people.
who are living there, right? I don't think we can trade futures and options in the
Yeah,
UK.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Even if you are trading, there are a lot of charges levied by the government from our end.
So why did the government they do that in India? They don't let people trade because India is a big market to trade for the Nasdaq.
For the Nasdaq, we might maybe in future, maybe not today.
Okay, thank you guys for your information.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
I
Chris.
go ahead.
Hello, Killer. Sir, I've been trading algo from quite a time, sir.
Mm.
My algo was performing well and all, but for this last week, sir, my max drawdown in my algo was not more than 3%.
Okay.
Now it has touched around 3.8% approx, sir, this month, this
Okay.
week,
So you
first
face
week.
the drawdown.
Yes, sir. I was in drawdown, but thankfully yesterday I was able to reduce it to 50%. So now my drawdown is around standing at 1.7% or something like that.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So on the budget day, I faced losses, and the next day on expiry day also I faced losses. But on Friday, I was able to come out with good numbers.
Okay.
So, sir, my question is that my algo was performing well, sir. It never had its historical drawdown was not more than 3%
Okay.
by among data of 5 years, sir. But
Mm-hmm.
now it has crossed that threshold limit, sir. So, is it advisable to continue the same algo or make some changes in it? That's what I
It's
wanted to
hardly
ask.
0.5%, right? You don't need to change your system. And this
Okay.
thing happened because of the unexpected events,
Yes, sir.
right? So you don't
Yes.
need to change your system unless there is something wrong happen. When you went to a drawdown period,
Yes,
let's
sir.
assume your system drawdown has 7 or 8% of kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
But if your system is unable to recover all those losses, at least for a 60 trading sessions, I mean to say 3 months of time.
Yes, sir.
If it is still continuing in a drawdown, then you might have to think about your system. What's wrong is happening in the market or maybe in the system.
Yes, sir.
So
So
you
my
need to cross
system,
check it. Yeah.
yes, sir. My systems, one thing what I've made it, sir, that every month I have to close in green. Among 5 years, there hasn't been a single month I have been closed in red. According to backtest data, sir. And my live execution also never closed in red, sir. So that's what I
But
made. Yes, sir. So that
fine,
was
fine,
my
fine.
system.
When your back testing result is coming like that, that's obviously fine. But my suggestion to you, never ever
Yes, sir.
expect more than 70% of your actual result, which is shown in the back test.
Yes, sir.
That is one thing. If that will be
Yes,
the case, obviously there are some red months which might is going to be happen in future. You
yes, sir.
always need to ready to face all those kind of situations.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
think it is which is not going to be happen. And
Yes, sir.
as you said, I am also going to face a drawdown because the conditions like in market I have seen in
Yes,
many
sir.
years in market. That's why I stopped the trading from Tuesday.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Not only in my
Next
accounts
from next
and
time I will
in
also avoid
marketplace
that.
strategies also every sorry.
Next time I will also avoid trading in those days, sir. Budget days.
So you don't no, I'm not talking about the budget. I can tell you in a simple way. When there
Yes,
is
sir.
some kind of a financial issues happen in the market, the simple thing I
Yes,
want
sir.
to tell you, when there is some kind of a financial fraud or something came to the market and some unexpected events came to the market, then you don't know how market is going to react on those days particularly. And this
Yes, sir.
Adani saga, which is going to be happen from last 10-15 days, on the date of report came, they are still fine, but they completed their FPO, right? That's where the problem started.
Yes, sir.
So we always have to ready to face all these kind of situations. And if that thing is not in our control, you have just take the rest. Nothing wrong in
Mm.
taking rest.
Correct,
Just
sir.
take the rest of 1 week. Go for a
Yes, sir.
holiday.
Yes, sir.
So that's how you can protect your capital by avoiding the
I'll do that, sir.
events.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. I just want to ask you something. Parambai, he won't come as a speaker, yeah. Katie,
Yeah.
I think we have done. We just wind up.
Yes, I think we can wrap up. Thanks all for listening in. We'll do this again sometime in the future. Have a good Sunday.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good night, Katie. Bye. Good night, Krish. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
sir.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.